The story takes place in 1986, several years after what happened in the main game on the Beira D oil rig in the North Sea off the coast of Scotland. The otherworldly horror and cosmic being caused the oil rig to be destroyed, distorting the crew members and merging them with itself after they discovered it when drilling into the seabed. I highly suggest you watch my first video on the game if you haven't already to get up to date with the story, as the DLC is a direct continuation. 11 years having passed, we follow the story of Mary, a saturation diver who returns to the wreckage of the Beira D oil rig with a team to investigate the cause behind it sinking and study it, recovering any remains of the crew to return to their families. Mary is sent 187 meters below the sea level, just touching parts of the seabed, only protected by a tiny submarine diver or a diver bell. North Sea is 700 meters deep in its deepest parts, while in the coast of Scotland it can get as deep as 200 to 300 meters. What I really like about this type of horror is the unknown of the deep sea exploration and how little we know about it. To put the cherry on top, it takes place in the cold, creepy and scary North Sea off the coast of Scotland, which happens to be one of the best countries I visited, with amazing people.
Hans, why don't we do the checklist before Rob's back?
Just a moment.
Really? And you didn't send us any?
The Oaxacan coffee bean is too delicate for such conditions. Under that kind of pressure, it would lose all its integrity.
Oh, I am sure. I'll stick with my tea then, thanks.
All right, let's get to it. Depth?
187 meters.
Pressure?
0.4 bar.
Communication clarity?
I mean, I could hear you slurping.
Diving suit hot water temperature?
Looks like 41 degrees Celsius.
Reserve oxygen for the diving bell?
Both green. Now, you. Plump weight status?
Almost back. Easy if you can get me out of here, Mary.
On my way, Rob.
Maddie, the checklist?
We did the critical parts. No reason to keep him waiting.
Mary is talking to her team, Rob and Hans, through the intercom and gets ready to take her dive after attaching her umbilical cable to the diving bell. The goal is to retrieve Beira D's data logger and collect any personal artifacts found. She will also photograph any human remains if she comes across them, but won't retrieve them not to disturb the place. This is a critical and dangerous job, with only highly trained and experienced individuals allowed to take them. She is deep in the sea, only connected through a cable for oxygen and communication. The pressure and cold this deep below the sea level can kill anyone not trained well enough. Just the thought of it makes my skin crawl. Mary takes her dive and meets with Rob, her crewmate who already marked the wreckage site using underwater flares. Mary takes over, swimming in the deep, dark, cold waters of the North Sea, following the flares. Rob, who marked the site, informs Mary that he didn't find any human remains but found the entrance to administration, so it's ideal as they are after the data logger. So maybe they can figure out what happened on the oil rig. As Mary has to push herself through an office, breaking open the door, she comes across a photograph of what seems to be the crew in 1969. Soon after, she comes across the first corpse, known as Vanderbilt. The sight saddens Mary, saying how there is no dignity in this sort of death, where the victims are lying deep within the sea under rubble and sediment. This feeling of sadness and sympathy seems to be coming from somewhere deeper within her, something she can empathize with. It is possible that she has lost a family member to the oil rig accident herself, someone close to her. Keep that in mind, as we will get back to it later. Rob, who had swam through here before and marked the area, swears he didn't see any corpse before, but assumes the sediment has moved, and maybe that's why the corpse is visible. Mary, who pays her respect to the dead and takes a photo, goes on swimming to the site that is marked. She then goes to the admin in order to get to the marine control. Deep within the admin, we get references from Rennick, the hard-butt rig manager who was terrible and unlikable. That's when Mary gets her first malfunction with the flashlight, making her vision completely obscured in the dark depths. She feels as if she saw something, or as if there's a presence in this lonely part of the sea. Something so terrifying, yet she continues on. All of a sudden, going through tight paths and nooks and crannies, the ceiling collapses behind her, trapping her, which prevents her from going back the way she came. Yet she is lucky enough for the umbilical to be free letting her move freely. Keep in mind, she is bound by this cord. If it is broken, she is done for and dead. This is her lifeline. She needs to make sure the cord is not stuck or broken. She's constantly in contact with Rob, while Hans checks her vitals, meaning her diving suit has equipment monitoring her vitals. Rob urges her to go back, being worried about her, but Mary explains that there's no point as her path is blocked anyway, and she might as well continue on. She eventually comes across a strange and unlikely place, an entire room having air in it, being an air pocket. It has been like this for the past 11 years. Mary, being shocked to see it, decides to detach her umbilical and explore the room, while a worried Rob tries his best to dissuade her, but she goes on to explore it anyway. Detaching her cord as it's too heavy to carry, it cuts all the communication and leaves her on reserve oxygen using her tank. She takes her mask off to see if there's any oxygen left here after 10 years, but as she takes a deep breath, she realizes there's none, putting her mask back on. Exploring the air pocket, she goes deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, with deformed architecture and human remains which were distorted after the shape, the entity within the seabed interacting with them. After some time, she eventually comes across the marine control room, where she finds some hard drive and takes it, which seems to be the data logger. But then the ceiling collapses, making her pass out. She wakes up, living through a memory so vivid and real, as if it is all real. She experiences the same things Cass experienced in the main game 11 years ago, the vivid hallucinations caused by the entity. Cass was the protagonist. She finds herself deep in the mountainside, still wearing her diving suit, hearing someone's voice, when all of a sudden she is pulled back into the real world. So it becomes clear enough that the entity is still alive, and it is heavily impacting her mind. At this point, it is probably already too late for her to survive, with the entity having a grasp on her. When waking back up, that's when she realizes that the room is slowly filling up with water, with the air pocket closing, while her oxygen tank is depleting, as if being punctured. Panic starts kicking in, with her life flashing before her eyes, knowing she needs to navigate quickly to the umbilical and reattach if she wants to survive. She swims as fast as she can, not able to hold back her fear through screams and gasps, when she finally manages to go to the open sea and locate the diving bell, rushing towards it.
Just falling down there. I've got to get there. Rob.
She gets in with Rob, who has accompanied her in the bell as her co-diver, lying to their other crew member Hans, who is above the sea level, that everything is alright and that he is simply helping Mary get out of her suit, not saying she detached herself and went off the comms. Rob gives her a big scolding and tells her that she needs to be careful, while Mary lies that she didn't breathe any of the air in the pocket, which could have had higher carbon dioxide concentration or other contagions, which would mean she could lose her life, passing out.
We need to descend.
Into the trench.
What are you on about?
It's right there.
What's right there?
The rest of the B-to-D.
What? How deep?
Just a bit down. It's,
Mary, how deep?
I'd estimate 50 metres.
50 metres? Fucking hell. Now, I was out there. I swam over the trench. I didn't see anything.
No, you wouldn't have. I saw flare fall down. It's there.
You investigated without the umbilical. Then you come back here looking a right fucking
Well,
state.
I'm back, aren't I? I had a puncture, but nothing I couldn't handle.
You had a pump? You didn't breathe any of that air, did you?
No, of course not.
She then unveils that she had a puncture in her oxygen tank, making Rob lose a bit of his mind how careless she is. He is still a pal and a bro, so he keeps her secret from Hans, as otherwise he would go nuts and cancel the mission. That's when she unveils that she found the rest of the oil rig as a flare fell into a trench, which is estimately 50 meters deeper. Rob, finding this to be a bad idea, can't dissuade Mary, who gives up and tells Hans that they want to descend further, something that has never been done before by other teams. Hans eventually gets convinced, letting them drop further down. It's clear this is more personal to Mary, who cares more than anyone to find out what happened here. clear that she lost someone here. After some time of rest and eating, Hans drops them 50 meters deeper, reaching the terrifying depth of 237 meters. Mary takes her second dive, planning to go to the accommodation to find the remains. While getting too far into the structures, Rob manages to extract some recordings from the data logger, which includes panicked screams and chatter between the crew and sounds of explosions, which makes them think an explosion caused the wreck to sink. They of course don't know what really happened there and have no idea that there was a supernatural being within the seabed. That's when we get confirmation Mary had a family member in the rig, as Rob makes references. After some more swimming, Mary finds the corpse of someone with a lighter in hand, with engraving saying, "Best Mum." The only female crew member was Finley, but the corpse seems to belong to a man, which, as we know from before and what happened towards the end, Finley gets trapped by some collapsing structures, who gives Cass, the protagonist of the story, her lighter to set the entity and the entire rig on fire, making it sink so no one would ever get infected and to stop the entity from spreading. So when Cass went into a dream world, being reunited with his wife and child, in fact, he drowned and died in the depth of the sea. Back to Mary, all of a sudden being stuck in what feels like a duct. A rolling pile of rock falls, rolling towards her, when she narrowly escapes with the umbilical getting stuck. Mary, being terrified, hopeless, and not knowing what to do, hears a beautiful and enchanting echo radiating through the dark of the depths, making her baffled, yet petrified.
You're cutting out! The umbilical's stuck! I can't get it loose!
What the hell was that? I don't know. Somewhere with tanks, big water tanks.
Okay, I'll find it.
Wondering if she is just hallucinating, Rob comes in through the comms, being interrupted and staticky, in a panic, asking where Mary is. He notes down her location and plans to embark on a dive to get her, as swimming back to the bell without the cord could be very dangerous. That's when Mary detaches herself and goes to the nearest place, waiting for Rob to be rescued. Soon enough, Rob comes, throwing a flare through a small gap, however, not big enough to swim through.
This was a mistake. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Rob, there's something in.
What?
This place is collapsing on me. I don't know what to do.
There's got to be something. A broken wall, a hole in the
The
ceiling.
torch keeps breaking. I can't even see.
Oh, shit.
Rob!
I have a ton of these flares. Take them. Listen. You're going to find a gap. You're going to come out. We'll have 2 weeks in decompression. And you can force me to listen to simple lines on repeat if you like.
You have to sing all the la la las this time.
I promise. Right, go on. I'll see you at the bell in a minute. Don't you forget about me, yeah?
Yeah.
Mary seems helpless, understanding there is something in here with her. And they are not alone, some sort of otherworldly entity. Despite feeling like impending doom, Rob reassures her, instructing her to find a gap and get back to the bell right away. He gives her some flares as her flashlight keeps breaking. Rob goes back to the bell, and thanks to the flares, Mary can light her path. The comms keep on breaking again, barely able to talk to Rob. That's when Mary goes on a weird hallucination trip, seeing the corpse of Rob holding a flare with the umbilical cable detached. The audio even gets strange, with Rob blaming her for his death. Mary is confused, not understanding what she's seeing, when all of a sudden, entering an air pocket, she gets chased by a blob-like entity with many tentacles chasing after her, which terrifies her, running into the accommodation. Despite having to be very badly corroded and deep underwater, the place looks well cleaned and as if still being intact, with plates even nicely placed on the tables. Mary can even see light coming through the windows. This cannot simply be. She must be hallucinating, but it is too real to recognize. At this point, Mary is probably way past being saved. She is way gone. She is way deep into the Delulu land. She goes deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole when she hears her father's voice, a voice repeating the memory that she had with him. That's when we finally learn who his family member was, who was on board in the oil rig. It was none other than her father, Brody, the diver of the rig. She enters his room being left intact as the day before the rig sank. The memory that is repeating in her head is of the day that he was teaching her how to dive, one of her favorite days. Picking up a photo frame that they had of that day, with a blink of an eye, Mary wakes up in reality, finding herself in the badly rusted and corroded room which belonged to her father. At this point, Mary learns that she has messed up big time and she is facing something out of this world, something she didn't expect at all. She manages to get herself out of the structure and into the open waters, getting back to the bell. Excitedly, she calls out to Rob, but doesn't find him anywhere. She uses the intercom to contact Hans, but he doesn't respond either, when all of a sudden something attacks the bell, causing it to get punctured, with the water slowly seeping in, flooding it and slowly sinking it.
Rob's not in the bell. Where is he? Hans, are you there? Jesus! What the hell?
This seems to be the game over. But Mary gets out of the bell, going somewhere to hide and find a way out. At this point, it's not really clear if what she is experiencing is hallucination induced by the entity or the reality. But it's very unlikely to be reality, as why wouldn't Hans respond back, and where could Rob be? In the meantime, she tries to look for Rob and save the both of them. All of a sudden, she sees the horrifying monster blob with the tentacles yet again, which is stalking her. We learn this entity is known as the Siren, which is a surviving fragment of the shape or the supernatural entity that targeted the crew on the oil rig. Now this fragment is targeting Mary and her crewmate, Rob. As she swims to find a way out, the presence and proximity of the fragment causes Mary to fade in and out of a dream world, flashbacks that are so vivid that she mistakes them with real life. With the Siren being on her tail, Mary feels immense guilt for dragging Rob here, who seemingly has lost his life now, as if the fragment is trying to psychologically break her through guilt-tripping her and making her believe Rob is dead. It's an intelligent supernatural being who can mimic the voice of different people, get into someone's mind and hurt them exactly how they would be, showing them things that would deeply impact them. With the oxygen tank being almost depleted, she swims towards a sealed door when she blacks out and wakes back up, feeling as if she can breathe better like never before. She opens a door to find herself back home in Scotland, being deep in the countryside. Deep in the rabbit hole, she cannot tell what's real or fiction anymore. She is just happy to be back home, yet being really confused. As she follows the trail to a bench, she comes across a living and breathing version of her father, who goes on about his work and how there is a legend of sirens who lure men under the sea, being a reference to the entity.
I didn't expect this. Why bring me here?
Time for a diving lesson.
What?
What's the problem this time? The Flodagary fairies only come once a century to pull men under. No chance they'll come today. You'd have to think of something. You're mad, do you, if you let the fairies take me?
Oh, I remember this.
Drain the sea! You'd drain the whole sea for me. Anything to get out of diving, eh?
Da, talk to me.
Don't be like that. I'm here now. Because I know when I'm away that you're with your ma, so you're alright. And she is too.
We're not all right, Da. She didn't want me to come. We barely even talk.
You'd never have to drain the sea for me. No even fairies could keep me away. You, your ma, Sky, my 3 girls together. What more could anyone need?
Oh my god. Who the hell are they? Dad, what's going on?
The sea is full of strange and beautiful things, Mary. But if you see any such thing, you let it be. Just look from afar. No need to disturb their peace. Hey, shh, don't worry. We'll dive together. I've got you. Just hold on to me.
The father goes on a monologue without paying much mind to Mary, clearly being an etched memory in her mind that keeps on playing, asking her to join him for a dive, while the oil rig appears, including the crew members who lost their lives back in the main game. In here, she has 2 choices, to let go of her father's hand or hold on. If she decides to hold on, the father holds her hand and she will die, stuck in this nightmare of a memory, stuck and trapped with this memory of her father. On the other hand, if Mary decides to let go, she gets pulled back from the door that she just came through, with Rob's voice being heard, telling her to hang on.
I'm dying, just stay with me. Hold on, alright? No! Just hold on. I've got you. I've got you.
It's clear that Rob found her floating body in the sea, being low on oxygen when he decides to pull her back and save her life. So dying here would mean being trapped under the delusions of the entity, living in a memory while the body is possessed by the being. It's not so clear what the intentions of the entity is with the bodies that it captures, but it's possible it is the way it spreads and grows, becoming stronger and living on as a hive mind. Despite the entity being almost destroyed, with only a fragment surviving, the memories and essence of the dead seems to be still trapped in the sea, or at least the entity seems to be possessing them. Regardless, Brody explains the dead are there, but they are at peace, not wishing to be disturbed. So coming all the way here to the sea only triggered those souls and reawakened the entity. So as he mentions, it's better to be left on its own. And that's it for this video, folks. If you enjoyed it, make sure to stay tuned for more by hitting on the subscribe button and the notification bell. As always, it's been your host R, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.